From our experience, we know that life is a struggle. And because of the struggle, we are aligned with spiritual freedom, thinking that spirituality is going to help us overcome the struggle, overcome the fear, overcome the conflict in our lives. And the answer is yes and no. Yes, the spiritual freedom is going to help us overcome the struggle, pain, fear in a mental sense. It helps us to dissolve the mind. But it doesn't dissolve the relative pain, the functioning pain. It reduces some struggle by understanding how the world pulses, how the world functions. It gives us that clear understanding, and from there we can minimize the effort, minimize the struggle in the relative world. But it doesn't remove the struggle from life completely. If we think that spiritual freedom is going to help us remove all the struggle from our life, that's an illusion. That is just a fantasy, that we created in our heads, from the stories we have heard from the past. But that is completely, false. Okay? That's that. And another thing that we don't hear is that spiritual freedom also is a struggle journey. Right now, you are not seeing the struggle in your spiritual journey is because you haven't even created the dent in the spiritual practice. Right now, only the ego self is being part of this spirituality, and the ego self is just participating what the ego self loves to be part of. That once the real journey starts, then the real struggle starts to come in, the real friction, the real fight. There is an inner battle. There is there's a fire. The heat builds up in the person, and this heat will only build up when you come to the phase of a spiritual journey that you realize that you have to dissolve